All right, all right, all right. Well, hey, welcome everybody to this CTFO Zoom event with Dr. Robban Sica joining us. Hi, Dr. Robban. How are you today?
I'm fabulous. Thank you very much.
So glad you could be here. My name is Adam Levy from Canton, Connecticut, and we're going to be going over the 10xPure. You know, I get these questions on a regular basis. What is it that makes 10xPure so unique in the marketplace and so special? And, you know, I'm going to share with you just some brief thoughts about that and what I like to share with folks in kind of a nutshell. And then we're going to have Dr. Robban Sica break it down for you in a little bit more detail as to what really makes this special. And, you know, there's a lot of CBD products out there. You know, every other spam email you get is about some kind of a CBD oil. There's a vape store down the street, I'm sure. So there's a lot out there. And the reality is that not all of them are GMP certified. They're not all organic. You know, there's a lot of cheaper oils that are out there or less expensive, and the quality is, of course, less as well. But let's just say everything was equal. Let's say that they were all, you know, GMP certified and organic and CO2 processed and, you know, pesticide free, and you found some good ones out there. There's still the factor of 10xPure that is so much more advanced, and it's exclusive to our company. It is something that is a patented process that really increases the absorbability by a factor of 8 to 10 times. And we're going to be going into some of the details of that. There's also clinical studies being done on that to really, you know, dial that in exactly what that number is. But, you know, if you've got a higher absorbability of your CBD oil, it's going to get into the bloodstream. It's going to get into the body quicker. It's going to be a lot more effective. So you're getting more for your money if you've got a product that is getting into the system that much more effective and that much quicker. And nobody else has this. It's completely exclusive, worldwide exclusive to CTFO, and nobody else has that. So it's really kind of exciting that we're going to get to spend some time with you today. I'm going to share my screen real quick here, and that way you can get a sense of Dr. Robban Sica, and we can get this thing rolling. All right. Well, Dr. Robban, I'm just so really glad to have you joining us today. You know, you and I go way back, and, you know, you've got this incredible knowledge of CBD. It's something that you've been prescribing to patients in your practice for over 3 years now. So you've seen the good, the bad. You've seen what works, what doesn't work, and how fast things can work if you've got a really high quality product. So I just want to thank you for joining us and taking some time out today and really sharing with us just, you know, some of the great benefits of the 10xPure.
Thanks, Adam. I mean, I'm very passionate about talking about the endocannabinoid system and the benefits of phytocannabinoids because it's such a new understanding that we have. I mean, this was only discovered in the 1980s and 90s, and the research, there's burgeoning amount of research on it, and yet people still are unaware of what it is and what it does and why it's, you know, why it's so significant. So I hope to enlighten everybody today about that. As well as why CTFO's products are so exceptional and why 10xPure is really the gold standard of CBD hemp oil out there. So the term CBD, I'll get into in a little bit what that means and why that term gets bandied around. Everybody's like hearing this word, they don't really know what it means. Full spectrum hemp oil is actually the whole herb from which CBD and other phytocannabinoids are derived. And there's a real principle in herbal medicine. I've been in herbal natural medicine for 34 years in my practice. And we know that that when you have the whole plant and you have the synergy of all the whole plant, that's preferable to an isolate, which is kind of what the drug companies do. They take an herb and then they extract a drug, and then it has side effects and it doesn't work as well. And they actually did that with THC and with CBD. There are drug company patents on those single compounds. And so but you don't get the benefits of the whole plant, and I'm going to explain that more in a little while. It's really critical to get organically sourced hemp oil. If you don't, you're basically going to be imbibing or taking in all kinds of toxins and pesticides and things like that. Hemp is a bioconcentrator, which means that it will suck up from the soil any toxins, heavy metals, pesticides, etc., that are there. So it's actually going to concentrate in the plant, and then when you extract the oil, it's going to be concentrated even more in the oil. So they actually use hemp in many countries in many places where the soil is toxic, because it grows really fast and it sucks the toxins out. But you don't want to be eating any product that comes from that hemp. They can use it for other things, but you don't want to be eating that. So if you're just getting hemp oil off of some spam email, like you said, you have no idea what the quality is. The second thing is that the nutritional industry is not, and we don't necessarily want the FDA bearing down on the nutritional industry, but it's not very well regulated. So unless you have good manufacturing practices in your manufacturer with third-party validation, the problem is that you have no idea of what you're buying, whether you're actually getting what you're buying or not. It could say, and they've done studies not just on hemp oil, but on other, vitamin C or saw palmetto or other nutritional supplements, and shown that maybe it could be anywhere. If it says 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C on the label, it could be anything from 100 milligrams to 2,000 milligrams, and there's no, quality control there unless you have a manufacturer that is good, uses good manufacturing practices, and they certify their process, and they do testing of their ingredients to make sure that what they're putting on the label is actually in there, and what you're buying and paying for is actually in there. There was a study that Michael quoted the other night that 80% of the hemp oils out there don't contain the amount of CBD that's on the label. So you don't even know what you're getting. You might be getting pure olive oil or pure flaxseed oil or something, not have any CBD, or just have like a couple of drops of CBD oil in there. So it's really important to work with a manufacturer company that is working with a manufacturer that's GMP certified. Oils in and of themselves have limited absorption, and only 6% of hemp oil that's ingested actually gets into the bloodstream. Only 6% of the CBD actually gets in. Now, so those products out there, I'm sure somebody, there are people that will get benefit at just 6%. But if you're paying for 100 milligrams or 500 milligrams and you're only getting, 6% of that, you're getting a fraction. You're getting the benefit of a fraction of what you're paying for. So how do we make that more bioavailable? It's really important to do something to make that oil more water soluble, or what we call hydrophilic, water loving, so it actually is absorbed through the stomach lining and also through the cell membrane, so you're actually getting the benefit of what you're paying for. And that's the beauty of 10xPure. 10xPure is combined, the hemp oil is combined with a separate product called 10xPure, 10xPure, which is a patented hydrophilic technology. It's patented worldwide. It was developed by a researcher in the Philippines over 10 years ago, and it's been studied in and of itself for its own health benefits. Has quite a few health benefits on its own, but when we combine it with the hemp oil, you get the absorption up to the 90, upwards of 90%. So you're actually getting the benefit of not only the 10xPure oils, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but also you're getting the benefits of the CBD and the other phytocannabinoids. I'm going to explain that again. And I want to say all of these oils, because I forgot to say that on the last slide, all of these oils, you mentioned that the CO2 processing, you can extract oils, whatever oil, olive oil, hemp oil, whatever kind of oil, in various different ways. And if they're heat treated or if they're chemically treated, then the oil becomes contaminated, or it becomes trans fatty acids. It becomes damaged, and you can actually pick that up in the testing. If you go in the CTFO back office, you can look at the analysis for solvents, for pesticides, for heavy metals, for mycotoxins, mold toxins. They test for all these different things, and it's 0%, 0%, 0%, 0%, 0%, 0%. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Can you go back to the previous slide there, Adam? Sorry. So I want to just talk a little bit about the increased absorption, because this 10xPure not only increases absorption through the GI tract, through the sublingually, because you really want to take it sublingually. That way you're going to get the maximum benefit the quickest. It increases the bioavailability, and it crosses the blood-brain barrier, so you're actually getting this, it carries it into the cell, into the mitochondria, and it carries it into the brain more effectively than any other hemp oil that's on the market that I'm aware of, and I've researched quite a few different brands. It contains these short-chain fatty acids, which I'm going to go into in a minute, and lauric acid especially, which is found in coconut oil, but it's originally derived from mother's milk, and it's really good for transmitting immunity to the baby. That's why it's in the mother's milk. It actually has the antibacterial, antiviral capacity as well as immune boosting qualities. So go ahead and go to the next slide. So the 5 oils that are in 10xPure is oleic acid from olive oil. People know that olive oil has benefits. Capric acid is actually a prebiotic, so it helps to restore and maintain the good probiotic organisms in your gut, which increases the health of your gut and decreases inflammation. Caprylic acid, I've used that for years in my practice as an antifungal. It's very, very effective. Lauric acid, I mentioned before, antiviral, antibacterial, and pro-immune boosting effects. And then linoleic acid is actually one of the essential fatty acids that you have to get from your diet. Your body can't make it. It's got to come from your diet. And it is the precursor to all the anti-inflammatory cytokines and leukotrienes, so it actually decreases inflammation. Now, this is what they take, 10xPure. They put it through an oxygenation process to make all of these oils more absorbable and more hydrophilic, so that oxygenation in and of itself produces more benefits. So it produces a higher pH, a more alkaline pH, which, we all know that the higher your pH, the more alkaline you are in your body, the healthier you are. If your pH gets lower, the more unhealthy you are. It has a high specific gravity, very, very beneficial aspects to this. It increases the bioavailability of the oil as well as the bioavailability of the CBD hemp oil, as I said before. It crosses the blood-brain barrier and gets into the cell membranes, into the mitochondria, and it carries oxygen with it. Unhealthy tissues don't get enough oxygen. Okay, that's part of the problem why disease develops, why cancer develops in a tissue if there's not enough oxygen there. And so one of the ways we can restore health to the body is to A, raise the pH, and B, get more oxygen in there. And you're actually just improving the health of that cell and making yourself more resistant to health problems, to diseases. And then people have noticed, because of the effect on the mitochondria, getting oxygen to the mitochondria, which is the little motor in your cells, what produces energy in your cells, that over time, people will notice increased energy and well-being the longer that they're taking this product. Now, I noticed that within 2 days. And I've taken a lot of different hemp products, never noticed much of a difference with any of them, but I'm a pretty, healthy individual. I eat pretty well. And within 2 days, though, I noticed way more sense of well-being, focus, energy, clarity in my mind. It was pretty remarkable.
Dr. Robban, a quick question for you on that, because that's important. I mean, you noticed results rather quickly, and like you said, you're a pretty healthy person, and so that was a shift for you from other CBD oils that you've tried. But is it accurate to say that it can take up to a month or two, or maybe even longer, for some people to really get to experience the full benefits of taking a CBD oil product?
I think that's absolutely true. When I get into talking about how this works in the body, it fixes a whole lot of things. It balances a whole lot of things in your body, these lovely little phytocannabinoids in hemp oil. And you can't really pick and choose. Like, the body has its own wisdom, and it knows what needs to heal first. So I had a person that was taking the hemp oil, and he started it for arthritis in his knees for pain relief. Got no pain relief for 2 months, goes to his doctor. He's on blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, I think diabetes medication, gets his blood work done by his doctor. His blood pressure is too low. His cholesterol was too low. His blood sugars were normal. They took him off all of his medication. And in the 3rd month, he got relief from his pain in his knees. So it's sort of like it goes to the place that's needed most. And so you have to let it work through the system. For myself, I mean, I'm getting older. I have a little, get a little stiff here and there from time to time. My probably sit too much and I get stiff in my hips and my knees. And it took about 2 months on the 10xPure before all of that went away. And I don't have any of that anymore.
Wow,
So
that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
mental, I could feel right away, like within 2 days. The physical inflammation stuff was a little bit slower, took a little bit longer. So let me explain about what hemp is, because there's a lot of misconceptions, miscommunications about hemp and CBD. These words get bandied about, nobody really understands. People tend to go, oh, hemp, isn't that pot? Isn't that marijuana? And no, it isn't. Hemp and marijuana are different varieties of the cannabis sativa plant. Marijuana contains the THC, which is the psychoactive component. Hemp contains only trace amounts, very, very little amounts. And it is the THC component of marijuana that causes people to be high, causes people to get, an altered sensorium, and also that, makes them sleepy and makes them hungry and all those other side effects. The other phytocannabinoids have virtually almost no side effects, and almost no one is sensitive to them. I've come across a few people that, makes them a little sleepy, or, they're allergic to hemp. I mean, that does happen, but it's rare in my experience. Hemp has been used for medicinal purposes, rope, fabric, paper, and many other products for thousands and thousands of years. This is well documented. And unfortunately, in the 1930s, hemp cultivation was stopped because it was put into the same category as marijuana, because it does come from the cannabis plant. It was made a Schedule I drug, and what that means is it has zero medicinal benefit. Now, here's a plant that's been used for thousands of years for its medicinal plant benefits, and now we're told by the FDA that, oh, by the way, it's a Schedule I, it doesn't have any benefits. So everything stopped in the 1930s, and then over the late 1980s, in Israel, there was a researcher that started studying THC, and then he discovered CBD, and then he and his team started discovering all these other phytocannabinoids, all of which have very similar health benefits. But we hear CBD, or cannabidiol is the chemical term for CBD. We shorten it to CBD because it's easier to say. That's one of the most studied, that and THC. So it gets all the attention that, oh, that's the active ingredient, that's the thing that we should be taking. It gets the focus, but it's really, as I said before, the whole herb with all 80 phytocannabinoids that's going to have the benefit. And fortunately, with all this research and all this documentation of the health benefits, finally, and just last fall, the end of the year, Congress passed the Farm Bill, which was signed into law and is now makes hemp oil legal in all 50 states, and we can actually have that product completely legally again, which is just a wonderful benefit. So why are they called cannabinoids? Well, the plant is the cannabis plant. So as they started to discover these different components, they called them cannabinoids after the plant. And phyto simply means plant, so plant-based cannabinoid. And there's, as I said, there's 80 of them, and there's just a smattering of them, that's CBD, CBNA, CBC, CBN, etc. But what the team in Israel discovered is that we actually, in our bodies, in almost every cell in our body has receptors, little locks where the key of the cannabinoid can go in and have a positive benefit on that cell. And they called those endocannabinoid receptors because it's inside the body, or endocannabinoid. And so again, here's the benefit of using the full spectrum oil as opposed to just the CBD, is that you get that entourage effect from the synergistic effects of the 80 cannabinoids, dozens of terpenes. We know terpenes have health benefits. Terpenes are like what makes pine smell like pine, what makes lemon taste like lemon, okay? And then bioflavonoids. Bioflavonoids are well known to be anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, etc. I talked before about essential fatty acids. There are certain essential fatty acids you cannot get from You can't make in your body. You have to get them from your diet, and you get really out of balance when you don't have them. And then, of course, we all need vitamins and minerals. And all of that is in the full spectrum hemp oil that is not in necessarily an isolated CBD product. So just pointing that out. So let me go back to the endocannabinoid system here. The endocannabinoid system, as it turns out, as we study it more, we understand it more, we realize that it is the primary tool of the body to maintain balance, which is what we call homeostasis. So in every system, there's a balance. There's inflammation and there's anti-inflammation. There's oxidation and there's antioxidants. You have to have that balance. There's excitatory neurotransmitters and there's calming, sedating neurotransmitters. If it's out of balance one way or the other, you're going to have a problem. So what the endocannabinoid system is, it kind of works up at the top of that scale and gets the balance corrected again. And actually, they've discovered that this endocannabinoid system exists not just in humans, not just in dogs, not just in cats, but in every vertebrate. That goes back to snakes and reptiles and anything with a spine, okay? So that, if you look at evolution, that's over 600 million years of evolution where, you know, animals and humans have evolved with the need for cannabinoids. The cannabinoids existing in our own body and having positive health benefits in our own bodies. That's how essential it is. And that's why I say, I know they're projecting the CBD market's going to be 22 billion in the next few years. And I think it's going to be even more than that, because I believe that every single person and every single pet should be on taking phytocannabinoids just for preventive reasons, if nothing else. Even if they are perfectly healthy, I think it's that beneficial to our system. So I think it's going to be like coffee or tea. Everybody drinks coffee or tea, right?
Robert, I love that analogy. And when people Google their condition and CBD, it's amazing how many studies come up on just about anything you can, any kind of condition or concern, health concern that you have. And is that pretty much because what this is doing is it's balancing out these basic systems of the body and bringing them back to homeostasis? Is that pretty much why it works on so many things?
I think that's exactly why, because it sounds like a panacea. Oh, it's good for this and it's good for that and it's good for the other thing. And of course, we don't want to make health claims, but I don't think we need to make health claims. What we need to teach people, to educate people like I am right now, that this is a tremendous benefit to restoring health, to supporting your health, to returning to optimal health, as opposed to treating a disease. We're not treating a disease. If you have, let's look at the nervous system. If you have depression, if you have anxiety, then, you're out of balance one way or the other. Those neurotransmitters are out of balance. The phytocannabinoids, the endocannabinoid system goes in and rebalances that, and your depression improves or your anxiety reduces. But we're not treating that. We're balancing the neurotransmitters. We're not treating the disease. Same thing with inflammation, same thing with pain, same thing with, endocrine issues. You're actually balancing out the system. So let me explain here how the endocannabinoid system works. There's receptors, like I said, on every single cell of the body. The CB1 receptor and the CB2 receptor are the predominant ones. CB1 uses anandamide. So if you look in the second column, kind of there, the two endocannabinoids that are predominantly made by our body are 2-AG and anandamide. Anandamide has been called the bliss molecule because it makes you feel so good. And it's been associated with the runner's high and with, people that meditate a lot. So that raises meditation, yoga, those things raise anandamide, which balances out your neurotransmitters and makes you on the CB1 receptors and makes you happier. The CB2 receptors use predominantly the 2-AG. It's got a long chemical name, I won't say it, but just 2-AG, and it works on the CB2 receptors to modulate inflammation. So people that have autoimmune diseases, people that have arthritis, people that have any kind of inflammatory process going on in their body, it works upstream of those inflammatory what we call cytokines and leukotrienes. Those are the chemicals that mediate inflammation and anti-inflammation in the body, it goes up here and it balances that out and says, hey guys, work together, get into balance. Okay, so it's actually restoring the proper balance of, we need a certain amount of inflammation for healing, for, our immune system to fight infections and cancers and things like that. So it's really important. So again, the CB1 is found mostly in the brain, CB2 mostly in the immune system, but can be found in the bone, in the endocrine glands, like everywhere. So it's pretty important. And, I mentioned the research before, but there are currently well over 23,000 studies and counting that have been published on the health benefits of the various phytocannabinoids. Not just CBD, not just THC, but all of them. And they have very similar benefits, but unfortunately research has to focus on one variable. So, it's focusing on a single cannabinoid. So people get focused on, oh, CBD does this, THC does this, CBNA does that. And really, as I mentioned before, it's the entourage effect that really brings it all together.
Hold on one second here.
That's okay.
Okay.
So, so I just want to mention that CTFO, I think, is the best company in, producing hemp oil. They're very, as I've mentioned already, extreme attention to detail in terms of producing quality products that really work, innovating and coming out with new products. They launched half a dozen products just, a couple of months ago, including the 10xPure, including the hair growth products, which are just phenomenal. They're working extremely well for people, and the gummies and the vapes and things like that, some people don't want to take an oil orally. They'd rather vape it. You get very good bioavailability and absorption through the lung. So they're really innovating in a lot of different ways, doing the proper quality control, doing the research, doing the studies, documenting everything so that these products really work and you can trust the quality of them. The full spectrum drops were the product they started out with first, and they work. And then they took that and they made it even better with combining it with the 10xPure. And CTFO actually is a part owner of the 10xPure company. So that's not going anywhere. We're going to be the front leader in CBD products for years and years and years to come. There's a whole line of pet products. They work really well. My dogs love them. The gummies for, for kids or whatever, people that don't want to, that like gummies. The sleep spray for people with insomnia works extremely, extremely well. The topical pain cream, the ultimate deep healing pain cream, I absolutely love. I have a jar of it on my desk at the office. People come in with pain. I have them rub it on their knee or whatever's hurting. And I would say, 80% of the time they get pain relief within 10, 15 minutes. They feel a difference right away. And sometimes the pain goes away pretty quickly. And it does actually help to heal the injury there as well. So I just want to mention the isolate. We do have a CBD isolate product. And the reason that CTFO came out with that is that full spectrum CBD may still have a tiny amount of THC in it. And if it does, if somebody has a strict drug testing program in their employment, and a lot of, police workers and, firemen and things like that, they do get drug tested on a regular basis. The CBD isolate is just CBD, maybe not quite effective in my opinion, but a lot of people get great benefit from it. And that would be a safer product if somebody, knows that they have to undergo periodic drug testing to stay employed. So, I think that's an important, thing also. And I want to say also the skincare products, it's a cosmetic thing, but looking good is as good as feeling good, is as important as feeling good. And I would say some of my really sick patients come in and the thing they're worried about most is looking good. They're worried about their hair. They're worried about, not looking older. And it's funny because I'm like trying to get them healthy on their physical body, and they're focused on the cosmetic, which is really, really important in terms of how somebody feels about themselves in their life. And that's why those products they work really extremely well.
Hey, Robban, quick question for you. You bring up a couple of things. First of all, you mentioned something about how that we have CTFO has become a part owner in our own manufacturer, in the 10xPure company,
Correct.
Which gives us a really unique advantage in the marketplace. Most of these companies out there marketing CBD today, they're resellers. Somebody else is manufacturing for them. But now, because we are part owners in our own manufacturer. We're really the only CBD company that's doing that. You're going to start to see that 10xPure technology move its way into the entire product line, or certainly more of the products and some newer products that will be coming out as well. And that's pretty exciting. So if we can increase the absorption of all the CBD products, that would be amazing. The other thing is an advantage, and you're bringing up all these incredible lines of products. I mean, with the hemp bill being passed, it makes it easier for companies to get involved with CBD. So you're going to see them popping up even more and more. And usually they'll add on a product or two to an existing line that they have. What I love is that we have all these different categories that are, you know, multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar categories all in of themselves. I mean, you could focus on just pet products and make a fortune marketing CTFO's CBD pet products. The hair growth, as you're mentioning, I mean, it's just an incredible category all in of itself, and people are getting amazing results there. Vape oils, I mean, 30% of all CBD consumed this year are going to be consumed via vape. And whether you vape or not, guess what? That's what the market is doing. So it's just great to have a variety. We have something for everybody. We have price points for everybody that'll fall, you know, in line with what people are looking for. And we're very, very competitive. So I just love the offering, and then the free business model that we offer, free to enroll, free websites, and to be able to, you know, get a piece of it. People ask me, why can't I get it from a vape store down the street? And I say, well, great, that makes money for them. But, you know, why wouldn't you buy it from your own business? Why would you buy it from somebody else? Why not buy it from yourself? And so it's just a really unique advantage that we have. And now we have this incredible 10xPure technology that is just really, you know, a game changer, I think, in the industry. But anyway,
that's an excellent point, because I've looked at a lot of different products out there. There's some that are extremely pricey. There are some that are extremely cheap. I think, you know, you pay for quality, but the nice thing about CTFO is they've made it very easy for anyone, whether they want to build a business or not, to get the discount, to get the wholesale prices. Mm-hmm. If somebody goes on auto ship, they get an additional 5% off. It's very competitively priced for the quality. I mean, there's nothing else out there like 10xPure, nothing, not even close. So, you know, what would you pay for the best product on the market? And yet it's priced very competitively very similarly to some of the other, what I would consider higher quality products that are, you know, that are out there and that are available. You know, it's not any more expensive, even though it's a better product. So, I mean, I think it's just the business model, the company, the quality, their attention to integrity and ethics and details. Just, to me, I'm very excited about, I've been excited about endocannabinoids and phytocannabinoids for years. I'm really excited about this company and 10xPure. And the thing that to me is the most significant is that we can go out and change so many people's lives. We can benefit so many people in their health as well as in their wealth. And financial stress is one of the worst things. It's one of the most common things that make people sick, that make people depressed and anxious. If they can have a little extra income coming in, a residual income that they can depend on, I mean, how great is that for your health? I mean, it's a wonderful thing. So, I mean, take it out there and share this and change people's future outcome.
Well, Robban, thank you so much for joining us today and taking the time out. You know, I know you got a really busy schedule, lots of patients, and we're just really grateful that you're part of this team and can give everybody such great information on and real world information, because you're using this with your patients and you're watching results happen while an office visit is going on. You put the cream on a pain early on and in your visit, and within 15, 20 minutes, some of them are going, whoa, what is that stuff, right?
Can I get a jar? Do you have it here?
I happen to have some, right, available. So certainly looking forward to doing more of these events, these Zoom events on different topics, in fact. But we wanted to cover the 10xPure. Hopefully you understand what the advantages of 10xPure is. We've got an incredible product here that is really changing people's lives. And, you know, in this day and age where there's so many choices out there, there's a lot of confusion. And the reality is People are looking at CBD. They're looking to get some. In 2019, everybody you know, everybody I know is probably going to buy a CBD product. But what they want to do is they want to get it from somebody they know, somebody they trust, somebody that's done the homework for them already. They want to be led by the hand. Here's a great product. I've used it. I've gotten great results. There's great value here. And there's a technology here that gives you a great bang for your buck as far as absorbability, bioavailability, and you can go right to my website and you can order it. So we have something that's really unique. So hopefully everybody takes advantage of it. Get back to the person that has shared this video with you, and they can share their link so you can get started today. Remember, it's free to enroll, free websites, and you'll have access to over 70 top quality CBD products at wholesale prices and below. If you want to get on auto ship, you save 5%. So with that, thanks everybody for joining us on this